Today I fucked up by thinking it was normal to have two ankles on the inside of each foot. I've had some toe, ankle, knee and hip pain for years and thought it was just bad genetics. I usually buy shoes from outlet stores so the staff don't know much about fitting, but who cares, the shoes are cheap. Today I walked past a shoe store having a big June sale. I went in and looked for some new heavily discounted hiking shoes. Turns out the store was attached to a podiatrist so they know their shit. First thing the lady asks is whether I'd broken my feet. I say no and ask why. She says because my navicular sticks out so far on both feet. I told her I thought it was normal to have a smaller second ankle. Nope. It turns out that being flat-footed causes the navicular to stick out like a second ankle, and usually it's not even visible. I need extra support to stop being so flat-footed and stressing everything from my foot to my knees and hips. Not only that, but my feet are so wide I need 2E or even 4E width shoes. I'd only ever bought regular. I try on some 2E and 4E shoes in different sizes. They are immediately the most comfortable shoes I've ever had on my feet. After 40 plus years on the planet, I am just now learning what comfortable shoes feel like. Too long didn't read, have always worn shoes way too narrow and without enough support. Went to a shoe store that know their shit and now need to replace all my shoes with ones that actually fit. Learn from my mistake and don't fuck up your feet and knees. Something I learned in my late 30s. A good pair of comfortable and supportive shoes are worth every penny of 150. Oh. Flat feet gang, rise up. But slowly, we don't want anyone hurt. Shit man. I've had my second ankle since childhood and had no idea what it was. I always just thought it was normal. Thanks for the heads up. My husband has flat feet and about 12 months ago the doctor sent him to a specialist who prescribed special insoles and told him that his shoes were too small. Now a year later most of his lifelong knee issues have gone. I found out around 40 that I had been wearing shoes at least a size too small my entire life. Today I fucked up by drinking 2 beers at my wife's birthday party. Obligatory. This happened a couple days ago and apologies for formatting due to mobile post. This weekend was the wife's birthday and as COVID is still an issue in our area, we decided to have a small outdoor barbecue with my sil, and my wife's good friend. I cooked burgers and hot dogs on the grill, and we planned on having cake and a couple drinks. Now I'm a bigger guy who, during normal times, has an occasional beer or Scotch whiskey, and I've been known to throw back more than a few during an NFL or college football game. I do enjoy trying different craft beers rather than the boring domestics. However, I have not vomited from alcohol since high school and certainly have never blacked out. I've been intoxicated before and am told I become much more animated when I drink. Basically, I have never had trouble holding my liquor or recognizing my limits with alcohol. I made a run to the grocery store earlier in the week to get supplies. As I was the only one who drank beer, I planned to only pick out a couple for myself. I have been trying to lose weight and not buying the liquid bread, so these were my first beers in a couple months. As this was a special occasion, I figured I would get something I knew I liked and also try something new. I found a 20 ounces bottle of Bourbon barrel-aged stout I typically drink during football season. Now it has a higher alcohol content, but I have drank multiple bottles before without a problem. Also spied a 16 ounces can of IPA I had never seen before, so I gave it a shot. Now it too had a high alcohol content, but it had less than the stout, so I thought it would be fine. Flash forward to the barbecue a few days later. I cracked open the stout when I put the food on the grill, and finished it off after eating and mingling for an hour or so. I want to stress that I felt slightly buzzed but in no way felt I was close to my limit. Before we had cake, I thought I would try the IPA. I remember tasting the first drink of the IPA, but I have no memory until I woke up lying face down on my bedroom floor several hours later. According to my wife, shortly after drinking the IPA, I began to act very intoxicated. I accosted my wife's friend multiple times about whether I should shave my mustache and gave a rambling, incoherent lecture to the group on how I train our pet miniature pig. Then announced to my mill that I would become Dave Grohl's sex slave if he wanted and proclaimed I had to vomit. Upon hearing this news, my wife directed me to the side of the house, but I instead stumbled to the area of the yard where the Minotaur pig does his business. I took a face-first dive into the pig's feces and in the process unintentionally presented the group an excellent view of my plumber's crack. Apparently, at some later point, I made my way into the bathroom and emptied my soul into the commode. I somehow stumbled upstairs and lied on my belly in the middle of the floor. I woke several hours later and have never wanted to brush my teeth and shower more in my life. My wife took a picture of me in the bedroom and found the whole thing quite funny. I don't know if I will be able to show my face around the others, especially my mill, for a while. TL, doctor, today I fucked up drinking 2 high alcohol content beers and making an ass of myself at my wife's birthday party that ended with me falling in pig poop. That's really lightweight, man. I had a bad reaction to something in the TIFU. I think I'll steer clear of it going forward. I did this some years ago. The beer was called La Terrible, I think, and it had the same alcohol content as wine, and the same size bottle. I drank the whole thing to myself in about half an hour, smoked a joint, demanded food under the threat of throwing up, ate my first meat dish in over 10 years, and passed out on the host's couch. The same thing happened to me. I was at my cottage. During the day I had a few beers, and a few doobies. I was glowing, but fully functional. I visited my friends for dinner. I had 2 glasses of wine, my personal limit. I had 2 more beers, then I went home. I had a nice glow on 1 wee doobie, at home, and it would be the end of a perfect night. Wrong. 4 puffs into the joint and I was wasted. I was floundering on the sand, wanting to die. My wife had to undress me before she poured me into bed. It wasn't my best night. It's not always the case, but a sudden decrease in alcohol tolerance could signal a decline in liver function. It wouldn't be a horrible idea to get a liver function panel, simple blood tests, done at your next checkup. Better to investigate sooner than later with things like that. I'm no expert, but I am in medical school, so I'm learning about stuff like that, and that's certainly something to watch out for. You have a very my cool wife, matey. I hope you're going to do something special to apologize. Definitely have awesome wife. I will have to figure out something. You mentioned that you've been trying to lose weight and beer being liquid bread, carbs. Are you doing keto? If so, head over to r/keto drunk. Also, your wife is a champ. Not strict keto, but along those lines. I'll definitely check out that sub. I agree that my wife rocks. Today I fucked up by SHing too hard. Yes, I know, your brain is already going crazy thinking of the possibilities, but I don't think you'll see this one coming. This happened today and I've never felt so embarrassed, confused and shocked. Day starts out like any other morning: wake up, have breakfast and go for my morning dump. Without getting too into the specifics, I'm sure most of you would have experienced the phantom log effect, where you think there's more, but if there is, it's near impossible to get out. Well, today I tried to tackle the challenge. Instinctively I grabbed my left wrist with my hand for whatever reason. I think I did it like if you were biting down on something when you go through pain. I can't explain my actions past this point, but I squeezed so hard and for so long that my wrist just snapped. Straight up fucking snapped. At first there wasn't much pain, it was more just shock that I had actually just committed grievous bodily harm to myself by shitting too hard. Make things even worse, I'm currently living with my girlfriend's parents and there was no way I was going to tell them the truth of what happened. So I got up, this is when the pain properly started, and threw myself onto the floor, made a noise and tried to make out I had slipped. My girlfriend heard and came to the door, and I actually struggled to get back up to open the door, which I hadn't considered. Fast forward 5 minutes, she's told her parents that I've been a clumsy twat, and they get me in the car and rush me to the hospital, where they dealt with me pretty quickly. Didn't tell the doctors, and will never tell my GF or her family. Please make my day a little bit better by not bullying me too hard. Fuck, too long didn't read, shit so hard I broke my wrist and my girlfriend's parents rushed me to hospital. Picture for evidence, FML. Lamau, I was expecting an anus injury, not a snapped wrist. I think you're probably the first person to break a bone trapping. Op, it sounds like you need more fiber in your diet. Op needs more calcium in his diet also. Cannot live on dew and tendies, guys. Doctor, well, this doesn't really look like a break from a fall. No, I'd say this is a classic shit fracture. I thought for sure you broke your asshole after reading the title. I was expecting a hernia story. Expectations have been subverted.